I do know that I have gained weight, I would say over the past 5 years, and I don't care about it at all. And people are always like, why don't you care about it? Because I'm still working out, and I know that 5 pounds or however much I've gained, I'm sure it's fluctuated since then, is not an indicator of health.
For me, it was critical that my exercise was primarily focused on supporting my mental health. And whatever my body wanted to do, if I was eating healthy and I was exercising, in a healthy way, whatever size my body needed to be in order to support that, that was what I was going to do. I wasn't going to have some kind of arbitrary number in mind that I needed to be in order to look good or feel good or whatever. And it completely changed things for me. And I think one of the things I love about, some of the things that you talk about is making sure that you are finding happiness in what you're doing, that your exercise brings you joy. It's not another thing that you have to feel stressed about. Can you talk a little bit about your philosophy there?
Of course. And first I want to acknowledge, amazing for throwing away the scale. I don't think I've had one for like 15 years by this point. Because actually what we know is that weight is a really poor indicator of our overall health. And I wanted to bring this up, especially for women, that when we start maybe over-exercising or having restrictive diets, it's actually really harmful to our health. It's something that we don't talk enough about. It can contribute to loss of overall muscular mass and bone density. And both of those, we actually really want to have an integral part of continually having strong muscles, continually increasing bone density, or at least maintaining it. And so when we throw away those scales and ditch them, it's really helpful because, say, for instance, someone is focusing more on strengthening workouts, whether it's traditional strength training or strengthening classes with Pilates or another type of workout, that what's going to happen as the muscles get stronger, the weight on the scale is going to go up because the muscles are getting bigger. And that's not a bad thing. That may balance out over time. It may not, because we know that as people get stronger muscles, it's actually going to increase their metabolism over the long run. And so maybe in a few months' time or a year, that's going to rebalance where the weight may shift down again, or it may go up, but we're at a different internal sense with our body because the muscles are so much stronger. So I wanted to acknowledge that piece as well, that I don't know what I weigh either. And I do know that I have gained weight, I would say over the past 5 years, and I don't care about it at all. And people are always like, why don't you care about it? Because I'm still working out, and I know that 5 pounds or however much I've gained, I'm sure it's fluctuated since then, is not an indicator of health. So can you repeat your original question? Because I went off on a side tangent there.
No. Yeah, absolutely. Well, you talk about the importance of finding joy and happiness in your physical activity, and which is so important because you don't want to have one more thing that you have to make yourself do. I think maybe at the beginning when you first start exercising, you have to establish some self-discipline, but you don't want it to be that way all the time. You don't want this to be another thing you're making yourself do, you're having to, it's like a drudgery. So how does that philosophy play for you? And how do you help people find that joy and happiness in their physical activity?
Thanks for repeating the question. Well, happiness, you have mentioned as well, your cortisol levels, because you're really stressed. If we're super stressed and, for instance, we want to see physique changes, it's going to only continue to fight all the work that we're doing with other healthy aspects of our life, workouts or otherwise. So when we find joy in movement, it's actually incredibly motivating to move again. And when that's the element of why we're working out, it takes the stress off of what we have to do. And it's perhaps if someone's like, I actually want to start working out again. The thing that people oftentimes go to is, what is the exact workout plan to follow? And my suggestion is always carve out however much time you want for yourself. For me, at one point when I was hopping back into working out, it was 10 minutes daily. I said I was going to move my body and just focus on what you enjoy doing. And it's as simple as that. You don't enjoy running? Okay, we'll try walking. You don't want to walk? What about tricycling? You don't like yoga? Okay, try Pilates. You don't like the fast-paced Pilates class? Find something a little bit slower. And the more that we experiment, and I like to think of moving our body, just we're going to like taste test, right? We go to a new restaurant, we try something and we love it. We're going to go back to that restaurant and try it again. And we don't like it. We may still go back to that restaurant, but we're going to try something different next time. And the same can be with workouts where we try a workout, we don't like it. Don't think I'm never going to work out again. It's okay. Now I know where I'm not going to focus on. I'm going to shift my focus to something else. And I want to share this with people that growing up, I was not like you. I did not like working out. I am not an athlete. I was not an athlete. And I wiggled my way out of gym class in middle school every chance I got. And it wasn't until I was 19 where I had this like wake up call. Ooh, I better start working out because like I have no cardiovascular endurance even to walk up a flight of stairs. And I wanted to try hiking, which I thought would be really fun. And so when we go into it with what can I find that I enjoy and focus on that. And once we're consistent with that for a few months, well, maybe we're going to add on something else or make shifts. And this is something that sometimes we'll make shifts because we want to try something new or where our nervous system is as well. So for instance, I know someone who for about a year and a half, she was into CrossFit and she did that consistently about 3 times a week. What she was going through at the time was really stressful and she felt like she needed to get that energy out because she was working full time, more of a sedentary job, and she wanted just to expel that extra energy. And so CrossFit for about a year and a half was a good fit. And after that year and a half, she hasn't gone back to it in over 10 years. She's shifted her focus. So we may as well have workouts that we like doing for a short period of time, year and a half or even shorter. And sometimes when we stop doing that, we think, well, that's really bad. No, it's just we're going to follow that lead. And when we find happiness with workouts, that's how we're going to keep coming back either to the mat or another type of workout.